Welcome back. For over 7 years now, I've been doing DoorDash, and just like everything on DoorDash, things constantly change. And in this case, your Dasher ratings. And you have to ask yourself, do they really matter? In today's video, we are going to get to the bottom of why Dashers are so confused on DoorDash ratings and which ones you should be concerned with. How do each of them affect you and the way that the DoorDash app performs, including order volume and the money that you make on DoorDash? And one of them used to be a rating Dashers could give a crap about. Now it's affecting how Dashers actually work the app. We have a lot to uncover as we break it down and explain, do ratings really matter? Now, let's talk ratings in general because it's totally market dependent, because now Dashers have different programs, and it also depends on how you work the app and whether ratings actually really matter. It's crazy how complicated it has gotten just to look at a metric and see if you're doing good or bad. Now it affects the orders you see and the money that you make. Okay, so let's uncomplicate things a little bit. There are right now that I'm aware of 2 different programs going on. You have regular Dasher rewards, which if you care about being in a tier ratings, they are a big thing. Most of the weight is carried on the acceptance rate. I'm not going to go through the ratings. I will put them up right here, and you can pause the video, screenshot it, and that way you can look at it a little bit longer. But it's all about 3 metrics: maintaining a high acceptance rate, having a completion rate above 95%, and also customer rating 4.7 or better. Platinum, it's all about the acceptance rate over 70%. Some markets, it's 80%. Now, there is another rewards program that it's now based off of a point system, which is now being rolled out to more and more markets lately. But each rating is worth a certain amount of points and is weighed off of a percentage based off of your ratings. I will post it here. So once again, you can pause this video, take a screenshot of it so you have it. So let me know, is this in your market yet? Go ahead, leave it down in the comments. But this new program focuses on the highest percentage on 35%, which is your completion rate. Next is 30% on your on-time rate, 25% on your acceptance rate, and then 10% on customer rating. But in order to be at the top tier platinum, you have to have a total combined points of 70 to 100 points. Seems simple, but it's not, and I'll explain this a little later in this video once we get to on-time rating. Now, here's the biggest takeaway on whether DoorDash ratings actually matter. It's how you work the app and whether they matter or they don't. If you can give 2 craps about your acceptance rate or the tier system, then ratings just really don't matter. Just don't fall below a 90% completion rate or 4.2% customer rating, because they will get you deactivated. If you do care, which I know on this channel a lot of you are Platinum Dashers, then ratings do matter and control how the app performs and how you make your money. Here's the real, because I have tested it many times on this channel, being platinum and then also going below with my acceptance rate and not being in the rewards program. I can tell you firsthand experience. And guys, DoorDash performs differently in every market, but this is my experience. The minute that I went under 70% acceptance rate and went out of the platinum program, volume of DoorDash went extremely down, and I was waiting 20 minutes to an hour for some orders, which may be why some Dashers have a completely different opinion and experience on DoorDash. But because I wasn't receiving orders so frequently, I was even losing, and I wasn't making enough money that I needed to on DoorDash. You see, ratings play a big role in how people see DoorDash and how it performs. So in my opinion, and I've said this a couple of times, yes, ratings matter and control how the DoorDash app actually works. DoorDash found a way to get every order delivered, and they do this by controlling Dashers and controlling them through their ratings. They have us held at hostage, so to speak, through a percentage that affects how we work the app. Well played, DoorDash. You figured out how to get every order delivered at the expense of the driver, and also through mental manipulation on seeing ratings as a way to make money, or don't they think of it as motivation? I think of it as we're being held to metrics that we're forced to upkeep in order to maintain some of these statuses. Crazy, right? Well, anyway, okay, so let's break down each metric so you actually understand them a little bit better. Okay, we're going to go in order of the way most drivers actually see their ratings on their screen. Okay, first of all, acceptance rate. Obviously, one of the biggest factors in the tier system. This is how DoorDash gets orders delivered at your expense. The lower the rating, the less orders you receive. It's a numbers game. Hopefully, you are in a wonderful market, unlike mine, that is not oversaturated with drivers, unlike mine, and you're like, acceptance rate who? I don't need to maintain a high acceptance rate. For the rest of us, we need to maintain to keep making money, but every Dasher has a choice because you can go down to 0 and not get deactivated. It's just how you want to work the DoorDash app, and whether you want to maintain a high acceptance rate or really just don't give a crap about acceptance rates. Okay, completion rate. This is the amount of times you have canceled an order versus completing them. I always say, if you take it, you own it. Never go below 90%. You will be deactivated from DoorDash, and then you won't be making money. Always use worry-free unassigned if it's available in your market, which means that you can cancel an order after 10 minutes after waiting at a restaurant, but when you go to cancel, it actually has to say worry-free unassigned, and your completion rate won't be affected. If you don't have this in your market, use your unassigns wisely. In most markets, you need 95% or higher to be in any of the platinum tiers. Next is on time rate, but it has become a little bit of a hot button lately, especially for you Dashers that are in the point system. For any Dasher not in the point system, honestly, it's useless because mine has stayed at 92% for the past 7 years. Now, my fellow Dashers on this new program, I am so sorry you are going through this. DoorDash has made this metric impossible to achieve and has lessened the time for getting to a restaurant and dropping off orders. And most Dashers are marked late for restaurants being late and then marked late for delivery. Some Dashers are receiving multiple contract violations for this. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. And if you want to learn the full breakdown, I will put the video I did this week at the end of this video so you can learn all about it. But let me know if this has come to your market yet. Lastly, customer rating. In my opinion, it's one of the most important because it's how a customer sees you as a Dasher. On the other hand, it's subjective and it's one person's opinion of you and your service. You will be deactivated if you drop below 4.2. This is no joke. If you want to be platinum, you need to maintain above 4.7. It's pretty straightforward. So here's the thing. I get questions all the time. How often do you look at your ratings? Honestly, I look at it at the beginning of my shift and usually the end of my shift because I want to see where I stand, but also it gets a good gauge of if a customer gives me a 1-star, I can pinpoint when it actually happened. DoorDash does a pretty decent job of having things in your face like acceptance rate. Honestly, it's right in front of you almost every single order. And then on top of that, every time you go to hit decline, you know what your acceptance rate is at that point as well. Same thing with canceling an order. The minute that you think about canceling an order and you go to cancel it, it'll tell you your cancellation rate will drop too, so you always know where you stand. That's the biggest thing with a lot of these ratings, is just knowing where you stand at all times so you know what you can and cannot do when it comes to rating. So, do you think ratings matter? Go ahead, let me know what your opinion is on the importance of DoorDash using metrics to manipulate drivers into taking orders, or do you think that they're important to achieve? Hopefully this video gave you a better understanding and breakdown of how they really affect you as a Dasher. Also, let me know, do you think ratings affect the money that you make on DoorDash? In my opinion, it absolutely does. I said earlier in this video, I would put the video of the on-time rate. You're going to want to check this one out next, and I'll see you over there.